Oliver always believed he was a failure, bad at school, hopeless with numbers, and constantly disappointing his teachers. But when he stumbles upon a mysterious journal filled with impossible inventions, he discovers a hidden world of creativity that changes everything. In a small town nestled between rolling hills and vast meadows, there lived a boy named Oliver. Unlike his classmates, who excelled in subjects like math and science, Oliver struggled. No matter how hard he tried, his test scores were always low, and his teachers often shook their heads in disappointment. "You need to focus more," they would say. "Try harder." But no amount of trying seemed to help. Oliver felt like he was bad at everything. His parents worried about his future, and his classmates didn't understand why he found school so difficult. He would sit in class, staring at the equations on the board, feeling like they were written in a language he could never understand. Yet there was one thing Oliver loved: creating. Whether it was building strange contraptions out of old clock parts or sketching wild inventions in his notebook, he was happiest when his hands and mind were busy making something new. One afternoon, after another disappointing test result, Oliver wandered into his grandfather's attic. It was a place filled with forgotten objects, dusty books, and mysterious gadgets. As he dug through the clutter, he found an old, leather-bound journal. The cover read, "The Journal of Impossible Things." Curious, Oliver opened it and discovered pages filled with sketches of bizarre inventions, machines that could defy gravity, shoes that could walk on walls, and pens that could write in mid-air. At the bottom of each page were notes, as if someone had tried to figure out how to make these inventions real. His heart raced with excitement. Who wrote this? He wondered. Just then his grandfather, an old tinkerer with twinkling eyes, stepped into the attic. "Ah, you found it," he said with a smile. "That was mine when I was about your age. I was always fascinated with making the impossible possible." Oliver's grandfather saw the excitement in his grandson's eyes and decided to teach him everything he knew about inventing. Every day after school, Oliver would rush to his grandfather's workshop, a hidden shed in the backyard filled with tools, gears, and half-finished contraptions. At first, Oliver was hesitant. He had always been told he wasn't smart enough, but his grandfather encouraged him. "School doesn't measure the kind of intelligence you have, Oliver," he said. "Creativity is its own kind of genius." Under his grandfather's guidance, Oliver started building. He took inspiration from the journal and modified old gadgets into new ones. His first successful invention was a pair of mechanical gloves that allowed him to grip objects with extra strength. Then he made a self-watering plant system for his mother's garden. Slowly, he began to see that he wasn't a failure. He just thought differently. Word spread around school about Oliver's strange inventions. Some kids were fascinated, while others mocked him. "What's the point of making these weird things?" a boy named Jake sneered. "They're just toys." Determined to prove that his inventions weren't useless, Oliver decided to enter the town's annual Science and Innovation Fair. It was an event where students presented their projects, and the winner received a scholarship to a prestigious summer science program. Oliver worked tirelessly, pouring all his energy into his project, a flying bicycle that didn't need pedals. It was his most ambitious idea yet, inspired by the sketches in the journal. He faced multiple failures. The bike wouldn't lift off, the wings weren't strong enough, and the motor kept breaking. But with his grandfather's help, he kept refining his design, thinking outside the box and testing unconventional solutions. The day of the fair arrived. Oliver was nervous as he wheeled his invention onto the stage. Around him, students displayed polished robots, chemical experiments, and AI-powered devices. His invention, with its patched-up wings and exposed gears, looked strange in comparison. When it was his turn, Oliver took a deep breath and demonstrated his invention. He pressed a button, and the wings of the bicycle flapped. Slowly, the bike lifted off the ground for a few seconds before gently landing. The crowd gasped. It wasn't perfect, but it worked. The judges were intrigued. "How did you come up with this?" one of them asked. Oliver explained his thought process, how he used gears from an old clock, lightweight materials, and a wind-powered mechanism instead of a traditional motor. "I wanted to create something that didn't rely on conventional ideas. I wanted to make the impossible possible." Oliver didn't win first place. The scholarship went to a student who built an advanced AI program. But something more important happened. A scientist from the audience approached him after the fair. "Your ideas are unconventional, but that's what makes them brilliant," she said. "Have you ever considered joining an inventor's workshop?" For the first time, Oliver felt like his way of thinking had value. With the support of his grandfather and the scientist's mentorship, he began refining his inventions, eventually creating devices that helped people in practical ways. His mechanical gloves were adapted for people with weak grip strength, and his self-watering plant system was used in drought-stricken areas. Oliver's journey taught him that intelligence isn't just about test scores or traditional subjects. Creativity, problem-solving, and the courage to think differently are equally important. Years later, Oliver became a renowned inventor, known for making the impossible possible. He inspired countless others who felt out of place in traditional education, showing them that their unique talents could change the world. And so, the boy who once believed he was bad at school discovered his true genius, not in textbooks, but in the limitless world of imagination and invention. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to hear more stories and practice your English daily, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.